We all get the same 24 hours per day. Our brains didn't stop at the survival goals. Something fascinating happened along the way. The deep thinking ensures we begin well. I want to share a practical exercise. I call it Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Raj, your Mindset coach. And today I want to talk about something that shapes every single one of our lives, whether we realize it or not. Goals. But not just any goals. I want to talk about the deep driving force behind human progress and personal growth. Think about it. We all get the same 24 hours per day. However, some people seem to accomplish extraordinary things, while others stay stuck. Why do some appear to be so clear-headed, while others feel lost without clear directions? By the end of this video, you'll get a good understanding of the psychology and the evolution of goal pursuit, and why having meaningful objectives might be the most human thing about us. And there's a giveaway exercise too. So, let's dive in. For millions of years, our primal brains had one primary focus. Find food, avoid predators, reproduce, repeat, the basic survival circuit. Pretty straightforward, right? But something fascinating happened along the way. Our brains developed beyond mere survival mechanisms. We developed the prefrontal cortex, this amazing part of our brain that allows us to envision futures that don't yet exist and work towards them. As neurologist and author Viktor Frankl said, man's search for meaning is the primary motivation in his life. We didn't just want to survive, we wanted our survival to mean something. Think about it. Early humans who could plan ahead, who could delay gratification to achieve greater rewards, who could imagine better hunting techniques or ways to store food, they thrived. The ability to set and pursue goals became a powerful evolutionary advantage. And that's not all. Our brains didn't stop at the survival goals. We began creating art on the cave walls. We looked at the stars and created stories. We built monuments that served no survival purpose. Our goals transcended from just existence and ventured into the realm of flourishing. Now, let's talk about those exceptional individuals throughout history. The visionaries, the outliers who pushed humanity forward. They weren't just people with slightly better survival skills. They were individuals who saw possibilities that others couldn't see. They pursued goals that seemed impossible to their contemporaries. When everyone else was satisfied with candles, Thomas Edison envisioned electric bulb. When conventional physics couldn't explain certain phenomena, Einstein imagined riding on a beam of light. When computing was done on room-sized machines, Steve Jobs envisioned computers in everyone's homes. Let me give you another example. In the 15th century, when most Europeans believed that the world was flat, Christopher Columbus had a different vision. Despite widespread ridicule and rejection, he pursued his goal of finding a westward route to Asia. While he didn't land where he intended to, his pursuit of this goal changed the human history forever. Fascinating, right? But here's more to it. These people weren't born with special powers. They simply nurtured the human capacity for goal setting to an extraordinary level. So, what unites these visionaries? What common traits drive their extraordinary goal pursuits? First, they have an unwavering belief in possibilities. Where others see obstacles, they see opportunities. As Henry Ford famously said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Second, they embrace discomfort. Growth happens at the edge of our comfort zones, and visionaries aren't afraid to live there. They understand that the path to meaningful goals is rarely comfortable. Third, they are driven by intrinsic motivation, pursuing goals that align with their deeper values and interests, not just external rewards. Research consistently shows that intrinsically motivated goals lead to greater persistence and satisfaction. Fourth, They maintain what psychologist Carol Dweck calls a growth mindset. The belief that abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. And perhaps the most importantly, they connect their goals to something larger than themselves. Their pursuits aren't just about personal gain. They're about contributing something meaningful to the humanity. But what happens when we don't pursue meaningful goals? This is where things get interesting and a bit concerning. Without meaningful goals, our brains don't function optimally. Studies show that people without clear purpose experience higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even physical health problems. One landmark study even found out that people with strong sense of purpose live longer than those without one. Now I want you to imagine this. Think of your life as a car ride, going from one place to another, passing milestones on the way, sometimes with co-passengers and sometimes just alone. But you're in the driver's seat. It's your life. Now imagine your brain to be your GPS system. Quite a sophisticated one, I'd say. For the parts that you're already familiar with, I bet you would hardly use your GPS. But when it comes to places unknown, you surely need GPS to help you, right? For that, you need to have a destination or at least a sense of direction towards where you want to go. Without a destination entered, you'll spin in circles, consuming energy but going nowhere. That's us without meaningful goals. All potential, no direction. As the famous philosopher Nietzsche said, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. Without that why, even the simplest challenges can feel overwhelming. Now be honest and tell me, while watching that episode of Shark Tank, have you heard that voice inside your mind saying, even I have $1 million idea. It's going to disrupt the whole XYZ industry, blah, blah, blah. The moment that episode ends, and so does your inner entrepreneur. We often think deep thinkers and action takers are opposite types of people, but the most effective goal pursuers are actually a blend of both. Using the previous example of a car, imagine this time you enter a destination, but you don't start the engine. Deep thinking without action is just daydreaming. And action without thought is just busy work. Think about the Wright brothers. They weren't just dreamers imagining human flight. They were meticulous experimenters who tested and refined their ideas through constant action. They were thoughtful engineers who carefully analyzed each failure. Here's a key insight. Effective goal pursuit requires period of both reflections and action. We need to think deeply about what matters to us and then take consistent steps towards those visions. We need to act, then reflect on our actions, and then adjust and act again. As Aristotle said over 2000 years ago, well begun is half done. The deep thinking ensures we begin well, and the consistent action ensures we finish. So where does this leave us? The human brain evolved not just to survive, but to envision and create better futures. The outliers and the visionaries throughout histories weren't superhuman. They just maximized this unique human capacity. Setting and pursuing meaningful goals isn't just nice to have in life. It's fundamental to our nature and well-being. Without it, we drift. With it, we thrive. Before we wrap up today, I want to share a practical exercise that will help you bridge the gap between thinking and action. I call it the goal jar. Here's how it works. Take an empty glass jar, any size will do, and place it somewhere visible in your home or workspace. Keep small pieces of paper and a pen nearby. Now, whenever you have an idea, a thought, or a creative spark related to your goals, write it down on one of those pieces of paper and drop it in the jar. It could be a business idea, a book concept, a fitness milestone, or even a small task that moves you closer towards your bigger vision. And here's the important part. Each day, commit to pulling one note and taking action on it. It doesn't matter how small the action is. What matters is consistency. Now, this exercise isn't about filling the jar with ideas. It's about transcribing your thoughts into writing and then transforming those writings into concrete actions. It creates a physical bridge between your thinking brain and your doing brain. The beauty of this goal jar is that it helps you align your daily actions with your big picture. It turns the abstract into the tangible and someday into today. Whether your goal is to climbing a mountain, starting a business, raising a family, creating art, or making scientific discoveries, the act of pursuing something meaningful connects you to the deepest part of your humanity. So I'll leave you with this question. What goal will you pursue that connects you to something larger than yourself? What future are you working to create that doesn't exist yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this video valuable, hit that subscribe button for more such content. Until next time, keep pursuing those meaningful goals. My name is Raj, your Mindset Coach, and I'll see you in the next one.